Welcome to I'm Your Target Demographic and welcome to our spoiler video on Jessica Jones. If you haven't finished watching Jessica Jones, go do that. It's only 13 episodes. If you're in the wrong place, if you haven't watched it, I do have a spoiler-free review, which you can see right down there in the description. So watch that. Don't come back here until you finish the video or you just don't care about the spoilers. So let's dive in. Jessica Jones was really cool, not as action-packed as Daredevil. We can all agree on that. But the action scenes that did happen I thought were really cool. So the most notable ones were probably the Jessica Jones and Luke Cage fight scene that happened in the second to last episode, where you find out that Luke Cage has been mind controlled by Killgrave and he has to kill Jessica. And that fight scene was awesome because you kind of knew Luke Cage was unbreakable, right? But to see him toss her around like a rag doll was really scary. And he was not in control and he was trying to kill her. And that was, the stakes I felt were really high. You knew she wasn't going to get killed, but you didn't know how far he was going to go. I'm just so excited for Luke Cage because every time he was on screen, the show was just way cooler. And I'm excited for what they can do with that character. And then let's talk about Killgrave. So the Purple Man is his name in the comic books. And I thought it was really cool how they incorporated purple into his character. Because in the comic books, he's literally purple-skinned, and they weren't going to do that. But as the final couple episodes started happening, and he amped up his powers, and when he would use them, his veins would turn purple. I thought that was such a cool little nod to his appearance. But they weren't going to turn him purple. I thought they might for a second. I thought the next time you were going to see him, he was going to be all purple, and I was like, oh, that's a gutsy move. But just when he used his powers, you could see the purple kind of seeping. It was very cool, but realistic, which I felt fit really well into this show. And Killgrave in general was just disgusting in the best ways. They did change his relationship with Jessica and what he did to and with her a little bit, but it worked. Every time you started to think, oh, there's a reason why. He was just an experiment. It's not his fault. He would do something diabolical and remind you that, this guy is just about himself and he's willing to do anything. When he tells people just to, make them disappear off the face of the earth or go stand there forever. He's just horrible, and it was perfect, and it was just disgusting in the best ways. And the final scene where he's going to take Trish and go onto the boat, that scene was perfect. That Jessica was faking, but he knew she was faking. That would have been too obvious if he fell for it, and you're like, oh, she's faking. But he caught on, and then I didn't know what was going to happen. And she almost let him leave with her until she finally convinced him that she wasn't under mind control, or she was, and it was perfect. And the way she snapped his neck, and it was just a brilliant ending, and really the only way to stop a guy like that. And I like that they played up that he loved her, because we haven't seen a villain like that. We've seen villains that want money or fame, or they want the world to be destroyed. They want something so grand. But Killgrave, he just wanted her. And it was just disgusting, but it was perfect. They are knocking these villains out of the park. So I'm really excited about what this is going to mean for the future. Because they know how to write this, and they're giving villains the arcs that they deserve. Another spoiler thing we can talk about is, in the last episode, we see Claire from Daredevil. And I was waiting for Matt Murdock the whole time. And it sucks that we didn't see him, because there were so many opportunities I was expecting to that it felt like a letdown. That every time they mentioned, I'm going to need a lawyer, or we're going to call a public attorney for you, they kept making these lines that it was okay, Matt Murdock is going to walk into the room and plead this case. But he never did. And so when we got Claire, it was cool, but it wasn't the cameo that I wanted. It made sense why she was there. She made little nods to, hey, I have a friend who is also special. But it just didn't do it for me the way that I wanted. So that was a little disappointing, but it makes sense that Claire might be the one to kind of rally these people together. So we'll see. Overall, those are some of my spoiler thoughts. There's so much to think about. If you have other questions that you want to talk about, put them in the comments. You can talk to each other. I'll answer. And we might do something coming up soon, like what we want from future seasons of Jessica Jones. So if there's stuff you want to see, put it down there. If there's stuff you didn't like, just give your feedback. Give your review of Jessica Jones in the comments. Because I'm really curious, because this seems pretty divisive. Daredevil was unanimously loved. But this seems like some people didn't like how slow the show was. But I thought it was fine. I thought it was cool. Like, it made sense. So give me your review of Jessica Jones in the comments, because I'm very curious. And as usual, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.